Hello, hello, and welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, last episode, I honestly can't remember too much. It's been a while. I know we went through Sunfall. We're supposed to go underneath Sunfall. Oh, but that's a point of no return. We helped a what was it, a general or a lieutenant escape or like escape persecution. But now we're gonna go get a healer because there's a sick little girl um in this little like village that isn't doing so well. Well, and when I say isn't doing so well, I mean she's about to die. And I forgot that a bunch of my shit is super fucking low. I still haven't used enough of those to really warrant crafting them. That was a waste of a hard point.
Fresh as it comes.
Ooh, now I can make another one. Nope. Yep. Blaze and Arch. Also, those halberds are super freaking cool. There's a board game version of Horizon Zero Dawn that I have, and one of the characters you can play is of a Karja hunter. And for the main weapon, you have that halberd. The Forbidden West. Alright. Reader, if you would like to know about the Forbidden West, there are none more qualified than to be your teller than I, the considerate Udain, healer of blazoned art. Why? For I yet live unlike the outlanders who gasped or shrieked the tales that follow. Wholeheartedly, blazons and madcaps all. They were brought to me near death, poisoned, mortally wounded, or driven witless by what they had experienced in the lands beyond the Daunt. With such wounds, it was all I could do to ease their pain and try to make notes of their ranting. As the sun shines upon me, I cannot vouch for the full truth of these tales. I only hope that they will satisfy your curiosity and turn you from the path that led these imprudent explorers and daredevil trekkers to their deaths. Though each account differs, it is certain that the western lands are most unlike our own. Some cross deserts of palest white, other deserts the color of fire, or even limitless sweeps of blue sand that seem to reach the sky above, broken only by the remains of ancient machines. Others spoke of vast prairies of tall grass, each blade sharp enough to draw blood, dotted with shivering black flowers, or incalculable plains of dried mud, cracked like a great mosaic. At night, unknown animals watch with glowing eyes, and strange birds, all the colors of kites and fireworks, chitter and call out in the men's voice. Most extraordinary of all are the reports of a lake 100 times the size of the daybreak. So wide the far shores cannot be made out, and so deep that an entire city of the ancients stands drowned within. The water is sour to the taste and sickening, and it is said to rise up and push back against those who attempt to cross. Let's talk about the ocean. It would seem that dead cities without number have been consumed by the shifting dunes in the west. Their skeletal towers mired in seas of sand. The wind is heard to sing a low, mournful song through these ruins, or through the skeletons of vast metal birds now fallen, or over great metal bowls now filled with depths of black water, where fish dart like shooting stars. That song of ruin, rising from a hum to a howl, still haunted these men and women as they thrashed and sweated in unquiet sleep. But though the western lands are harsh and even their beauty hides danger, it is not the land alone that swallows up all who venture within, that inflicts the brands and wounds suffered by these few fortunate enough to return. Oh yes, all have spoken of new machines in the west, machines more strange and terrible than any found in the Sundom. With their fingernails, dying witnesses have scratched out impossible shapes, or if they still possess several limbs and vocal organs, mimicked jerking movements and imitated awful sounds, all belonging to the throes of madness. And what manner of men can live where the sun goes at night? These tales are the most chilling. One spoke of drinkers of machine blood, their lips and tongues stained, their teeth replaced with metal. Oh, wait, hold on. Their lips and tongues stained, their teeth replaced with metal. Another described youths as pale as ash, all wearing the same faces, who hunt silently and tirelessly in the night. Still another told of a tribe seen only from afar, whose folk busied themselves digging deep pits in the sand, only to fill them again for unknown reasons. While another tribe was only glimpsed on the waters of the Great Lake, riding their thin, dark boats. Oh, son, a half of me regrets scribing these stories, for they inspire questions that can only be answered by yet more doomed expeditions. And yet, I must tell the tales. Else, for what else remains of these poor and wretched men and women? They sought riches. They found none to bring back. Nothing save a handful of black silt, or a curiously stamped piece of metal, chunk of desert glass with shifting hue, or an odd smooth shell. I have kept all of these things to remind me of those who went in search of the forbidden and paid for it dearly. Reader, if you yourself an adventurer, heed the warning in this old man's collection of strange small things, and go not into the forbidden west. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shoot my own horn. That's the best reading I've ever done. Like, I only got stuck once, and I'm kind of tired of shit.
Are you Galeev? The healer?
I had planned to spend the day gazing at the lands of my exile and feeling sorry for myself, but you're not from Sunfall, so this could be interesting.
I came from the tent city there. There's a sick girl. Her brother told me about you.
The answer is no.
What?
No, I can't spare the medicine, nor my time to administer it. My resources are already spread thin, thin as the soiled cloths I have to use for dressings.
Why won't you help?
Look at it from my perspective. What meager goods I can get must be smuggled in. That's expensive. The behemoth's share goes to the military. Of course, there are the demands of the Citadel. Helis's kestrels are so prone to sticky ends. What's left, that's for the nobles, who can pay well for my services.
Look at it from my perspective. A little girl is sick.
I think we are calling to each other across an ideological impasse.
What's stopping me from just making you do it?
I'd have to cause a situation. And you wouldn't harm the only healer disgraced enough to work for the Shadow Carja, would you?
Well, we've only just met, but yes, it's tempting.
And take it up with the Citadel. They decide who lives and dies. Nothing you can do would compare to my punishment if I use the last of my stock on a tent girl.
You're kind of an ass, healer.
There's no cure for a conscience, but in this line of work, I've built up an immunity to it. And yet, if you feel so strongly about this one girl, perhaps we can make a deal. My charity for a Thunderjaw heart.
That's not how charity works.
It is how deals work. You'd settle my debts. For a while.
I already have the part.
Wow, we could already have a deal. Quickly now, let's salve your poor conscience.
See to the girl, And it's yours. Not before.
Oh, please. On my oath, this girl will survive to see our sad future. You and I shouldn't be seen together. Go on to the slums ahead of me. I'll find you presently. You do stand out in a crowd.
God, he's an asshole.
It's you. Hello again.
I've brought someone to see your sister.
How did you... What did we do to deserve... No, wait. I don't even want to ask, in case a shadow passes over and it's gone.
Smart boy.
She'll have his full attention, won't she?
Once I'm freed of other distractions, yes.
Alright, and with that done, which was easier than I thought, mostly because I have a habit of collecting big parts. Oh, I need to find a merchant real quick. I refuse to sell this one sock for some reason. I don't know why. I just refuse to sell it. Hello, Huadiv.
Efrito Huadiv, right? Vanasha sent me. What happened?
I got hornswoggled, that's what. Vanasha batted her lashes, wiggled her hips, and promised us treasure. Clear a path for the royals, she said. Sneak past the garrison and skewer a few watches. Hardly a bother. Little did we know there was a damned monstrosity lurking underground. When will I learn not to gawk at skinny girls?
Why do you think Vanasha swindled you?
My crew came to Sunfall because we heard the bounties were fat. She offered us the fattest one of all, enough to retire on. It's my own damned fault for taking the bait. Should have known I'd end up with a rupture in my useful parts.
So Vanasha needed safe passage for Nasadi and Itamen, but it didn't work out?
She made it sound so sweet and easy. Find the best path to the lake, make sure it's safe. What could go wrong? Turns out, a lot. Like bloody murder in the grinding jaws of a heinous death beast.
Oh god, I think I know what it is.
Something attacked you from underground.
Oh, you picked that up, did you? I wondered why the Shadow Kaja didn't pay attention to the pass. Well, they don't need to. A rock-eating demon guards it for them. It tunnels in the dirt, breaks through the earth, and blasts rocks from its stinking face. I barely escaped. My comrades weren't so lucky. I might shed a tear if they weren't all cutthroats and cheaters.
Vanasha will be here soon with Nasadi and Itamen. I've got to destroy that thing in the pass before they arrive.
You're not too bright, are you? Well, we didn't last long against it, but I'll tell you what I know. It has armor everywhere, a little less at the rear. And when it goes underground, it will lose track of you if you're quiet. You might even be able to keep it from going under altogether if you hit its big crooked arms hard enough. That's all I can offer, friend. I promise to look solemn at your funeral before I hit the bar.
Oh, hold on. Hello. There's... If you have to listen to that rancid "Do Your Part for Zero Dawn" song one more time... Oh, no. If I have to listen to that rancid "Do Your Part for Zero Dawn" song one more time, I swear I'm going to stab out my eardrums before the melody can fester in my ear canals. It is not inspiring. It is not stirring. It is Drek. Chairman Drek? That makes me want to kill myself before the robots even get a chance. I would literally give my life right now to kill the asshole who composed that goddamn thing. Ugh. Can this apocalypse at least have a decent soundtrack? God.
Bad day for one of us.
Oh my god. Hello. Wait, hold on. What is the greatest weak point? Because I get tear and everything mixed up. Oh, tear. So not damage. So 153. 153 tear. Oh my god. Ow, that's not what I was aiming for. Ow. Oh.
By the radiant sun, I can't believe it.
You're about to die of your wounds, aren't you?
I thought that evil rock chewer would grind you up. After that miracle, all we can do is wait. Vanasha will be here soon, along with a boat that'll take the royals across the lake.
Ah, little huntress. Glad you accepted my invitation to play bodyguard. Where are your men, Huadiv? It looks like something chewed you up and spat you out.
That's pretty much exactly what happened.
The way is clear. Can we go?
I like how you always cut to the chase. In this case, literally. It won't be long before you're followed. Don't be afraid, Your Radiance. We've got excellent protection.
Vanasha's armor is sick.
Oh dear. Here come the Shadow Carter, and they're very angry with me.
I'll hold them off.
Very noble of you, but when I start a fuss, I like to finish it. Not that your assistant isn't welcome. Huadiv, get Itamen and his mother to the shore. Carefully. So it comes to this. I must say, after 2 years under the heel of these zealots, I'm ready to extract a little blood.
Which way are they coming from?
Some traps would be nice.
Yeah, except again, I don't know which way they're coming from.
Shall we prepare a little surprise for them? Take cover up there, behind that rock. Here they are. Let's make it proof, shall we? Well, that was entertaining, but I suspect we're not done. More of the bastards. Get ready. Back down, now! Well now, seems I worked up a bit of a sweat.
Oh, that's it?
Stocking up.
You're kidding me. I think only 2 of my traps went off.
I don't want to jinx it, but we might be in the clear. A bit late, aren't we, gentlemen?
Sorry, ma'am. The boat's waiting.
Damn, I spoke too soon.
This one's mine. Get to the boat.
You know, this time I think I might be out of my league. If anything happens to her, I will be very cross.
We're not going anywhere.
You're kidding me, a corrupted Thunderjaw? Hello. Too close, too close, too close. But I would love that tail to get popped off. Yes! Whoa, where the chill water, perfect. Okay, I do not need a single bit of sparker. Where is the freaking tail? Oh, here it is. You know, it's not a Sigvids unless a bunny dies in the process. Which I don't know why. It's always the bunnies, but
Not exactly a royal barge, is it? Oh well, defectors can't be choosers. Let's get aboard, shall we?
now there's some with this part.
You've done a good thing. Maybe even ended a war.
Maybe. But my war just keeps going.
Seriously? Vaughn greased his little brother in person.
Itamen, my brother, welcome home. You have nothing to fear. You are now under the protection of the Sundom. My protection. As is your mother, she will not be harmed. You have my word, the law of the sun. Aloy, it seems I see your influence everywhere. You've done so much for the Sundom, and it will always be appreciated. You have my thanks. May you walk in the light.
Appalling. I spent 2 years in the Forbidden West setting this up, and the redhead gets all the credit?
I'm still getting paid, right?
You'll be lucky if I let you live. I couldn't have done this without you. When we meet again, I'll give you a proper thanks. I promise.
Aided the defectors.
It took an outlander to save our prince. I'm grateful. And ashamed.
The Oseram that tried to kill our Sun King? Traitors. The whole tribe of them.
History of Sunfall. After the vanishing of the Radiant Ariv and his cohort in the west, the Radiant Bossadid ordered a mighty fortress built at the top of the Sundom's farthest reach. His Luminants chose to build atop ancient ruins, reasoning the ancients must have seized upon the location for its strategic value. Of the ancients, their works of too smooth gray stone and strangely carved metal were collapsed or built over, and the catacombs sealed off. Only the stone ring, perhaps used for some unknowable ritual, was left in place to serve the garrison as a training ground. Even though its builders and soldiers lived in fear of the land where the sun goes at night, the finished walls of the fortress were mighty and unshakable. His luminants and his high priest, the irrefutable Pashamon, named it Sunfall, under the blazing eye of the sun, and by the light, it was good. None doubted the radiant Bossid's prudence, nor denied his lingering hope that his brother might one day be sighted again. But no great threat would come from the west in his lifetime. Nor did it come for the next 3 generations, though records show the men of Sunfall fought many bandits and scroungers, skulking in the rustwash, and a dangerous stampede of behemoths in the long burn. In time, Sunfall slipped into common memory until the 6th year, the 11th Sun King's reign, when the radiant Marzeed himself came to inspect it. In the desert heat, his radiance. Wait, hold on. In the desert heat, his radiance received a vision of an ornate citadel with a dome of metal so polished it would greet the dawn and catch the rays of the sun's last shining at dusk. At once he ordered the dedication of the Sundom's resources to build the structure. After its construction, the Luminants took the citadel as his summer palace, bringing with him many members of the Sun Court, nobles and artisans. In time, Sunfall became a city unto itself, and the source of the great works such as Passion of the Tallneck among the dunes, Turning Seasons at Bronze Flash, and Lament for Cinnabar Sands. The stone training ring was repurposed for shows of pageantry, where the young blazons or the hunters lodge hawks could display the sun's dominance over the machines. Sunfall's prominence in the culture in the culture of the Sundom continued for many years until Sun King Marzeed's untimely demise in the citadel he so treasured. For his procession back to the Elite, a line of torches was laid all the way across the daybreak, so that over the days and nights of his bearing he might always go in light. The departed king's brother, the Radiant Havas, was occupied wholly with renewing soldiery of the Sundom, and with the old Sun King's passing, so too passed this chapter of Sunfall's history. In the early years of the 13th Sun King Duran's reign, before the falling of the shadow, a particularly harsh season came upon the Sand Whisper Valley. Upon hearing that the storms could strip the very detailing off armor, he decreed that the strongest among his guard should be trained in the desert here, and named Kestrels. Indeed, Helus, who would become the most infamous of the Kestrels, was one of the first to survive his reforging by sun and sand here. In the 15th year of Sun King Duran's reign, when the sacrifices of the Sun Ring were judged insufficient to calm the derangement of the machines, he presided over the blooding of the ring at Sunfall. A trapped behemoth was driven with spears and spurred over slaves of the Osram and Utaru. When the beast turned upon the Kestrels, the Sun King stood and declared that the sun, in its great generosity, would accept the sacrifice of faithless and faithful alike. So began a fearful era for Sunfall, of sacrifices unending in its sun ring, and a citadel whispered of as a. Oh my god, I really. And the citadel whispered of as a place where no light shone. Many upstanding citizens of the Sundom were taken inside its doors to disappear as surely as if they had journeyed to the Forbidden West. In the last days of Sun King Duran's reign, Sunfall was in charge of his Kestrels and High Priest, no longer answering to the Sundom as a whole. It was no surprise then that following the liberation of Meridian, Duran's loyalists sought refuge at Sunfall. As a fortress, it was impregnable, but cut off from the bounteous lands across the daybreak. It was a city impoverished. So stood the stalemate in the first year of the 14th Sun King, the Radiant Avad, and so stood Sunfall, once built to protect the Sundom from the shadow of the West. is now sheltered a worse shadow, the false Karja who dwelt within. Oh wait, I have 2 points. I can't spend anything because I need 3. And with that, I think we're now down to... We're just down to that one mission. But I do actually want to check on... I do want to check on Itamen. And we'll do that in the next episode. And so thank you guys so much for watching. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.